so we're live. Welcome back to the Magic Minds podcast. You're watching and listening to the Liberties #1 podcast. Magic Minds, stories that have the power to inspire today. Today's episode is a little bit of a twist. We have Brona Malone back on the podcast. How are you, Brona?
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you? We've been sitting here for the last half an hour. Hello, how are you? I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm really good too. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a twist from our normal interviews, poacher turned gamekeeper. So Brown is going to be co-hosting me today. Could we call it that? Is that the way to say
Yeah,
it?
or even think of it as like a little Magic Minds podcast takeover because you are now in the hot seat and I am the one firing the questions because I thought it would be a good idea for people to hear about your story. This is all about stories that have the power to inspire, and to me and to other people as well, your story is very inspiring.
Thanks, I really appreciate you saying that. Myself and Brown recorded an interview, I think 3 interviews back. And the common theme that we got from people that listened to it and came back to us says that there was something nice about us sitting together and speaking. Although the interview was about Brona per se, we did touch on some stuff pertaining to us and our relationship, and we said we'd do that at some time, which we probably will do, and we will probably do that today somewhat. I know it is about me, but our relationship has a big impact on me, how I live my life, the way I work with clients, the way I am within myself. It's a huge, like even this morning we moved through some stuff. Now I moved through some stuff and there was tears, and already I feel some tears. Right, so there will be probably tears today. So that's what we're going to do today. We're here at 90 Meath Street. This is your first time at 90 Meath Street since the podcast moved over, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh no, it's lovely. It's lovely. Like, it's really nice. Yeah,
It's
beautiful
cool,
space.
isn't it? So thanks to Austin, the Liberties Community Project, for letting me use this space. They're just the best. I just love Austin. I love how he does things and how much he loves the Liberties. So I'm so grateful. We did not do any prep. I know Brona has some questions that she'd like to ask me.
Just a few questions.
We didn't do any prep because I don't want it to be strategic. I did think about that. I'll be strategic, but no, that's the way I used to live my life. I don't do that anymore. I'm making wholesale changes in my life. If you've listened to the Tommy Ellis interview, you know, I'm letting go of the performance. I'm letting go of the wheeling and dealing, the strategic and planning and any
Plotting
kind of
and planning.
yeah, and any kind of manipulation. I'm going to use this platform or anything I ever do to manipulate or trying to coerce people into something. So I wanted to be as organic. Although I prep for interviews, it's so I can acquire the knowledge from them and then I could bring it to my audience. But it's not from a performance base. So what we do today, Brona asked me, did I want to see the questions? I know the question. I says no, because I'm going to answer from an authentic and honest place. Yeah. I feel like I'm talking a lot here, and I'm meant to be the prey.
Shush now.
Shush,
You know?
shush now.
Yeah.
Right, so I have me crystals, have me pink tourmaline, I have me obsidian for ground and compassion, and then I have a little bit of rose quartz from me love shaker.
Your heart.
From your heart. So I'm all prepared. I love crystals.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So let me go for a go.
Yeah, take your swig of water there first, and then we'll
jump into it.
Yeah, we will. Okay.
Right.
So, firstly, yesterday I was hanging out with 2 mutual friends of ours.
Okay.
And I happened to mention, we were talking about something, and I happened to mention Matt. And both of them were just like, oh, you know, one of them stood and she closed her eyes and she's like, oh, when I think of Matt, I just think of love. Like, he is love. Both of them said that. And I was like, yeah, like, I of course say it because he is an amazing boyfriend and partner to be with, right? And yeah, I just was like, you know what, that's a great starting point. Even firstly, when you hear that, how do you feel about hearing that?
Like, we haven't even started. I'm gone. It's everything and it's nothing. Like like it's what I'm here to do. It's love is everything for me. You know, even the stuff that we moved through this morning. I woke up this morning, and sometimes this body of mine will look for problems.
Yeah.
Problem with Brona, problem with kids, problem with family, and there's no problems.
Yeah.
So what that's saying is there's a lot of fear and all programming trying to run and take over the show.
Yeah.
And it can be difficult for this body and for me inside of it. And it's a telltale sign that I'm not where I need to be, and that's in love.
Yeah. And present.
And present, because I'm in a historical place within inside my body. My body remembers things from years ago, and it's trying to reenact them in today's world. And I don't have a problem. I've no problem with you. I've no problem with kids. I have a good life.
Yeah.
So it tells me that you're off track, and I just have to get back. And that's what happened this morning. That just started to create momentum. But then you and I popped them. What pops it? Love. So when I hear you saying about those two people, these two friends, is it okay to mention who they are?
Yes, please do.
Patricia and Katie,
Yeah.
who reflect back to me our love.
Yeah.
They're just so loving, they're so kind, they're so gentle. And it's just a recognition of love. And when I hear them, like, even just to speak about love, you know what it's like for me, it just overwhelms me, but not in a bad way. It just takes over. It's like, fuck, like, wow. It's just gorgeous. It's really gorgeous, and it's a lovely place to be. And like as you said this morning, I'm still acclimatizing to that, you know. I wouldn't have allowed that amount of love come into me, and I wouldn't have allowed it to come out of me, because I probably wouldn't have had access to it due to my addiction to the memories of the past, the biochemistry that come with the memories of the past, the cortisol, the adrenaline, the norepinephrine. I would have loved that unconsciously.
Yeah.
Now that comes up in the morning, and I have a choice. It's this, which is the old story, or which is this, which is love from you, our relationship, our friends, our friendship, our stuff, you know. So it's very clear when you hear me say love or fear. I'm really talking about that, and that's moment by moment by moment. You see when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
1 minute I'm holding your hand, I'm touching you, and we're like, oh, and then the eyes open. It's like, is there a problem? Is there a problem? I'm looking for a problem. Is there? And you watch that roller coaster start to go down the hill.
Yeah.
And we used it, as you say, an acupuncture needle, and we popped it, and my heart is bursting right now. Literally, like, tears will come easily. You asked me, do I need a tissue before we start? And I'm like, nah, I'll be
great. Because I know him.
I just said, no, I'll be grand. And the minute you mentioned love, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
It does. And I think you have named something beautifully, and I would just like to point out that what you did this morning, there's a level of mastery to it. And I'm sure there's people watching this, and like what Matt was speaking to is what you can take away from this conversation. That someone, say you can be present, going about your day, and the next thing there's an emotional trigger. So maybe there's a message from your ex, or maybe you're going for a job interview. Maybe you are taking a big leap to do something new and create some changes. And what Matt is speaking into is like, right, I'm on this path and I want peace and love and da-da-da-da-da-da. And the next thing, this emotional trigger happens. And what it is the wiring and firing of the past. It's that unconscious conditioning that is universal. And so someone going into the job interview can think it's actually about the job interview, or someone who receives the message from the ex can be like, oh, that was the ex. But when you start seeing things for what they are, that these external things, you know, the trigger was there first. You know, if you didn't have some of that conditioning from the past and someone messaged, you know, whether it's the ex or you're going for the interview, there wouldn't be that bringing up of the past. And what you did this morning was, it's nearly like you come to the Y in the road, and it's like you can do what you've always done, which is the past, which is react to the X, you know, whether it's anger or resentment or bitterness, which only actually ever harms you, takes you out of your own heart. And it's the same with the job interview, where maybe there's just subconscious stuff from the past, or you can make the decision to choose love, and that takes mastery. So that,
Yeah, and here's the thing, that may not always be a trigger.
Yeah.
It might be just a sensation, a feeling, a habitual program that just goes off in the body.
Like guilt or shame.
Morning time used to be a challenging time for me historically in life. So when I wake in the morning, it's like any hunter or gatherer, they look for a problem. Is my environment unsafe? So I woke up, the peepers, the cortisol, the dawn phenomenon happens, you know, in the morning, melatonin goes down, cortisol goes up, and we're hunting, gathering, we're looking for problems. And I've never felt safe in my system for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I am safe. It's an opportunity for me to tell my body it's safe. And what you were saying there, stimulus is not the cause of the stimulation. My body was stimulated, but doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. So I'm in a retraining process of telling my body it's safe to be with Brona, it's safe. I've no problems in my life, only the perceived problems I create within my mind by my thinking and feeling, thinking, which has to be checked. So you were going to lead on to questions, sorry.
I was. It's like, how have you gotten to this place? Because it wasn't always like this for you.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what has helped you get to this place where you have all this love in you, and it's very clear and apparent that you bring this to the people around you.
Okay.
You bring this to the work that you do. And I'm sure there's people watching it who are like, how do I get there?
Yeah. That's a great question. How did I do that? Well, I've just spoken into what I just said there, that there was historical stuff inside of this body, this experience that I went through from early doors, from childhood, from adolescent right up into adulthood, that would have been what would have been described as darker chemistry, darker ways, lies, deception, cheating, difficulties, fears, anger, trauma, all of those stuff that would have led me down different paths. But when I look back now, it's all of what I just spoke into a few minutes ago. It's all historical, it's all pain, it's all fear, it's all that versus that, which is love. And I wasn't practicing love a lot of the time. It was lust, it was sex, it was binge eating, it was drinking, it was all of the proclivities that people use to try to avoid them.
The band-aids.
The what?
The band-aids.
The band-aids, all of them. But I didn't know that they were band-aids. I just thought they were custom and practice. That's just what we do.
That's life.
That's what I do. I looked around and I seen the people in my environment. When I see the people in my environment, I don't mean me ma or da. I mean my area, my people, my friends. Not my immediate friends, like when I pal around with Niall and D, not them.
Yeah.
I mean, just people around, and seeing how they emotionally, and adults, I seen how they emotionally regulated, and I seen how they dealt with things, the perceived way of dealing with things. And I done that, you know, I done all of the things that are not good for society, the lying, the cheating, the robbing, and it got me was more pain, and I just didn't realise it. I was in it, and I was just creating my own madness and badness and more drama, and it just kept coming at me all the time. And it just got to a point that it was nearly tipping point, and something had to change. And it was just by coincidental link, or coincidinkies, is it? What did he say? Coincidence. That I started to make some changes, and I started to get tastes of peace, and tastes of love, and tastes of creativity, and tastes of it, like just like let's say like little eye drops, like, oh, I like this. Then I started to say, I like this, but I don't. I like this, but I don't like this. And I started moving. I didn't want to feel like this anymore. And I hear people all the time saying, you got to feel it to heal it. I fucking felt it. I was feeling it for years, and I didn't like it. So I started making a journey which I thought I was going somewhere and I'm going to get this and I'm going to get that with the education and I'm going to go to council and I'm going to, all the while was outside of myself. But what I really need to do was start to understand that the work that I need to do was inside of myself, was all roads were leading inwards. So I've done therapy, I've done holotropic, I've done counting, I've done different types of modalities, read lots of books, training, education, breath work, all of those things um, that help me turn inside. Um, the most valuable, the most beneficial modality that I use now is meditation. It's the meditations that we do together. It doesn't matter which one you do, because it will require you to dedicate your time, say if it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, or whatever time you do, to put an eye mask on, put the earphones on, sit down, and all of the stuff that you are trying to run away from, drink into, drug into, ride your way through, will come up. The anger, the irritation, but you get to practice telling the body mind, the old historical stuff, that it's safe, it's okay, and you retrain it to sit and be still. And when the stuff comes up, you tell it to spiritually shut the fuck up. Like when me and you went through that stuff this morning, although some stuff slipped out and leaked out, not that I said anything to hurt Brona, years ago, that would have been like a volcano. I would have, but now I've learned to not do that by training my mind and my body, the body mind, that it's safe and it's okay, and it's day by day by day, week by week by week. I've trained that. Like what we went through this morning took 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The refractory period, that would have took weeks, months, and probably years in days come, because I used to struggle a lot with my mental health. I used to struggle a lot with anxiety and panic and depression. And it went on for years. I didn't see the level of light and peace and love that I have these days. Literally I've got lots of love going through my heart right now. Even speaking to you, I can feel it's building up, even talking about it. So I've went from that to this, and then I also use breath work, conscious connected breathing that I use with clients. I love that. But I also, when people hear breath work, they think it's just conscious connected breathing. That's one type. I also use, as you know, I use nasal breathing on mouth tape. I'll use different types of box breathing, humming breath, humming bee breath, pranayama, all different types of breathing. But I use that in a way, breath work, to help me to soothe my nervous system, to soothe my fight, flight, freeze, that trauma response that would have come up with me and you this morning inappropriately. I can use breath work as a way of down regulating that system. Like if me and you go through something, one of the first things that I'll do is I'll close my mouth, and that requires me then to breathe through my nose. And then when we breathe through our nose, it just slows it all down, because you're not taking in big gulps of air like like nose. It's like, okay, that's a telltale sign for my brain to slow down, slow down. I'm telling the system, right, we're in a place where now I need your parasympathetic, that rest and digest, calm and peace, to take over in this moment, because you don't need me, my man doesn't need me, my kids don't need me in a heightened asympathetic fight, flight, freeze, panic. I lived my life in that. If something happened between me and you, if we were together years ago, I'd be, oh fuck, oh jeez, I'm mouth breathing, firing up the asympathetic, that fight, flight, unconsciously. Now I know through my training and my teachings the impact of our breathing
on the brain,
nerves,
on
the brain, on the thoughts. So I have the thoughts, right, and they're flying in. I did this, I did that. I never knew I could control or stop that. Or, okay, so I have many different tools and many different modalities to use. And a simple one is just close your mouth, shut your mouth, and breathe through your nose. Okay. When my dad was passing over, my ma rang me, jumped out of the van, got to the house, mouth closed. Brilliant. lovely. It just brings peace in. So that's where I've got to in regards to where I've come to here. Yeah, and just my interest in the peace and the love inside of myself, and want to share that now. You know, it's like, fuck, I didn't know that this was possible. And I'm sometimes going around to people, this is incredible. This will be lovely. It doesn't matter if you're a monk in a cave in the Himalaya, or you're a CEO of an organization, or you are somebody on the streets homeless on crack. You want peace. And I have learned how to do that. And that's what I share with people. And it's not from the books I read, not from the hospital training, the brain energy stuff, the science that I studied. I know how to do it from that point, but I also know how to do it from a lived experience. And this example I gave you this morning, my training was applied to this. And my dedication to love, my dedication to peace within us. Because if you think you have your life sorted and you do your meditation and you're in your gaff and you're practicing levitating and you're singing Kumbaya, but you're not in a relationship, you're not with another girl, with a girl or with a boy or same sex, whatever, and then you get into it, that stuff that you have never looked at comes fucking...
Rubber to road is the relationship.
Yeah, and this is what they don't teach, and I've hurt some people over the years. I've broke some hearts and I've got mine broken, and because I didn't look at this stuff, I would have had a faster 100-meter sprint than Usain Bolt. Because I could fucking, as soon as I felt shit coming up, I was like, pew! Now I don't do that. The breath work, the meditation, the art of real conversations, what I work with people with, that has helped me to sit and stay. What's that quote we read the other day in the book, Dear Lover? Men leave relations too quick and women stay too long.
Yes, David Dida, Dear Lover. And do you know what was interesting about that? And I was lying on the sofa and he was about to head out the door, but he's just sitting in the chair that he always sits in. And the bookshelf is beside it, and he picked up the book and I was like, read me something. And the reason why I was asking you to do that was because this is a book that I had as a single woman. And I remember, for me, my previous experience had always been that men were a certain way. And obviously I was being a certain way, so that was what was mirrored back. But due to past experiences, we can just unconsciously think, okay, men are this, and this, and that's just the way they are. It's black and white. And being single and really wanting a healthy relationship with a beautiful man, firstly, I had to believe there was beautiful men out there in the world. And I remember someone recommending this book, Dear Lover, by David Dida. So it's written by a man for women. And I loved it because this man he was speaking to, firstly, my heart. And he was saying, okay, if you want this kind of a man, this is the kind of woman then that is going to resonate with that kind of a man. So it was a book that I really read, and it was a book that I got a lot from. And even reading it, I was very aware of, like, oh, okay, that's the kind of woman that resonates with that man. That's not me. Like a woman who is open, who's willing to lean in and trust. And he has a way of saying it as well that I was like, oh, and I could literally feel the fear in my body. So the reason why I was kind of like enjoying you sitting there reading it, and I was like, I used to read this as a single woman, and now I'm sitting here with a man that I love wholeheartedly. Best relationship I have ever had to date, and is my forever man. And I just knew it. We both just knew it as soon as we met. It was like boom, like, and I've never had that before, never. So that's why I was enjoying you reading that book, because I was like, you know? I
Yeah.
was thinking of my single lady self.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting book, and as you say, in the clip that we were talking about, men leave too quickly and women stay too long. And I would have been that man. I would have been your atypical, and I would have been the atypical. Or you said there that there wasn't nice men out there, because I wasn't. If we say in realms of my life in relationship, I wasn't a good man, and I wanted to be, but I was like a one-legged boy trying to play for Man United. You know what I mean? I didn't acquire the skills. I had some challenges.
I would say you were a good man, you just weren't behaving like one.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I think
Yeah.
that's important because
I was beholding to the behaviors, the history, the biochemistry, and I was allowing it to run the show. What I didn't allow it to do this morning, although stuff was leaking out this morning very, very slightly. You can only imagine what that was like 5, 6, 10 years ago. And I believe that to be the truth. When I woke up in the morning and I felt stuff going off my body, I was tricked like lots of people in society that the problem is outside of ourselves and the solution is outside of ourselves. Like what I said to you, I've done all the counts and done all that stuff, but nothing has gave me the benefit that I have today other than turning in. Like, I didn't look for you to fix my problem this morning. Like, I didn't look for you to blame you. Yes, you were there and I could feel some stuff coming up, but I most definitely didn't believe you were the problem or you were the solution. It required me to turn into it and tell it to shut the fuck up, like, as kindly as you could say that. But I didn't allow it to hijack me. I did that in days gone by. I hurt people and I ran out and I lied and I cheated and all those things. But those days are gone now, and that's incredible gift and mastery that I have. I'm a master at that now. I'm like a military sniper, and you know me. I'm on this all day, every day. When I sit here with clients and I tell them that, I'm sure they probably think he just says that like I used to think about other people. But I don't lie. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it every moment of my day. I'm working on stuff inside of myself so I can present the best possible version to you, to my kids, my friends, my family, because I know the way that I used to be, and I didn't enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy it.
it was pain.
It was painful. And now, like, even just sitting here with you now, the love that's rocking through me, the love that was rocking through me before we press start, it's a lovely place to be. It's a lovely place to be, and I love helping people do that.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, what did you want to be? I wanted to be a shopkeeper. Why did you want to be a shopkeeper? So I could help people. Like, when I was a kid, I can remember like getting messages from Miss Barry, Miss Corrigan, for other people, and I used to love doing it. They did give me 50 pence or whatever they gave me at the time, but I just used to love helping them.
Yeah.
And then stuff obviously happened in my experience, and then I only wanted to do was to help myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you would be here today telling this exact story of where you are?
From like, do you mean about us? Do you mean about my life, or do you mean?
I mean, the whole lot, because I'm sure, like, you work with people, I work with people, and when you are in that place where you're stuck, there's pain,
Oh yeah.
maybe you're not showing up in the way that you know you could be, and you feel shit
Oh yeah.
about
Yeah.
yourself,
No.
right?
No. Definitely not.
There were days where you have experienced that. Did you ever, like, yeah, did you ever think?
No. No, because I was so entrenched in it. I was so, we'll use an analogy of it. I felt like I was in a swamp. You know, it was in an unconscious swamp that I didn't think, and it was a challenge all the time, getting about, you know, with the proclivities that I used, the drink and the other modality of drugs and all that kind of jimmy jazz and the sex and the food and all that, you know. No, I didn't, because sometimes I thought the best place wasn't to be here even anymore.
Yeah.
I also didn't think I would make it to a certain age because of the things that I used to do. And I like, we're here on Meath Street. There used to be a pub down the road. It was called the Fountain at the time. And I used to sit in there and I'd be joking the amount of partying I used to do. And here's the thing, it wasn't actually even partying. I done party in the 90s when I had a good time. Then it just became like medicine. That's all I done, was taking it to anaesthetize myself. So I wasn't actually partying, and I wasn't doing a lot of smiling or laughing.
It wasn't great medicine, it was bad medicine.
Like, it was all sort. It was just numbing and numbing. And I remember saying, I won't even make it to me 40s. I'm 49 this year, so I didn't even think I'd get here. And I can remember, even when I said I won't make it to me into me 40s, there was a level of, I hope I don't. There was in there going, I won't even make it. And I wasn't joking. I was thinking, I fucking hope I don't. The way I was going on and the way I was, and no one knew about it. Because like, even when I did start to tell people about stuff, they couldn't believe it. No one knew the level of difficulty and darkness in my system.
The inner
And
instability.
yeah, and you know, like, I do talk about stuff, but I wouldn't have told people really what was going on. And back in the day when we grew up, people didn't talk about these things, you know. They hid them, and I'm not saying it's a good thing to talk. Yeah, bring it up, clean it, and then start talking about love and happiness, because that's a more enjoyable place. Because if we bring this up and we talk forever, which I did, we're Hebb's law, neurons that fire together, wire together, and we just create the same experience inside of ourselves.
Yeah, there's talking about it just to talk about it, and then there's talking about it to be done with it.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference, and that's what I've learned, and I help people with that. Is to bring it up, let me know, let's understand, let's have a look historically from a helicopter.
Let's use it for your good. Let's use
Yeah.
it to get you up into your heart.
But also, as Jeff Thompson, my mentor that I worked with, and I love him dearly, he's been so kind to me, was we can use that darkness, we can use that energy, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only be transformed. And if you've got historical energy stored in the body, because the body holds the score, if you've read Van der Beek, from historical experiences, we can use that down from the lower energy centers, where you feel the anxiety and the worry in your perineum, or your lower belly, or your small intestine, large intestine. You can squeeze that up and it can burst into your heart. You can move that up, and I can do that, and I do that today. And it really, as we say, I'm here, my heart feels like it's full, you know. There's no really anger or worry or fear in me sitting here. And that's something that I learned to do. So no, it's a million miles away from where I thought I'd be. You know.
What would you say to someone who is in that place right now, and like you back then didn't even think this was a possibility? What would you say to them right now?
That there is a possibility. You know, there'll be stories going off in your head, there'll be feelings going off in your body, and the thinking and the feeling, because what we think influences how we feel, and how we feel influences how we think. And that is believable, like you're watching a Netflix documentary, like you're look at it, it's as real can be. And I never knew that it's not real. It's not real. You know, that stories, the lies, the feelings that you have.
You took them as truth.
I took them as truth. I heard it a while back, is a thought repeated becomes a belief, but doesn't make it true. Like, and this has to be checked. You have to check that. Like, let's just grab one of them from your archive. We have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and we're gonna believe all them. Like, even that in itself is mental. But just if we grabbed one of them, Like the one like I'm not good enough. Like the not good enoughness. Like even to check that and how that can tell you a story. You'll think it, I'm not good enough, and you'll have a feeling to match that, and that'll go up, and then it's believable, like you're watching a film through a headset.
And it starts pulling stories and things from the past to be like, see, you're not good enough because you couldn't do this, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do this. And
No.
that's where the whole chaos.
It's called, you'll see it on your phone when you text. It's called auto correction, auto suggestion. So the way it works, you know this. So we'll have the director of the film. The feelings are the director. Emotions, director. So you have them here. So there'll be a fear, there'll be an anxiety, there'll be I'm not good enough stuff, and that then will create thoughts, and the thoughts will match that. They'll be matching in frequency and energy. So I'm not good enough, then you get thoughts to match the I'm not good enough. So that's the director of the film. The thoughts are the script, and then the script will get you to act out. So I'm not good enough, you'll find thoughts to match that, and then they'll just keep roiling each other up, thinking, feeling, thinking, all of a
Start
sudden,
behaving like
and
that.
then all of a sudden the behaviors will lead then you to, I don't know, I'll go drink some drinking, I'll jump on, I don't know, Tinder, Pornhub, pull yourself around the room, whatever. You'll
Call the person that you shouldn't be calling, who
texting.
doesn't feel good to be around or doesn't treat you well.
Remember what I said, so you'll have the feeling, I'm not good enough, the fear, the anxiety, and you don't like this, and then, but yet the thoughts are just creating more of it, and then the behaviors. So then you're in this vicious cycle, feeling and emotion, the thinking, they'll just go hand in hand like a glove and fingers. And then you'll have the actions, and your actions will be the same a lot of the time around the same thing. So if the shame or this guilt or the not good enough stuff, that will lead you to, and it'll be a trauma response. We talked about the nervous system earlier, the fight flight response, and you will respond to in a way. You may avoid, you may use anger, you may use freeze, or you may use what a lot of, I've observed women in experience, there'll be a lot of fawning going on instead of feeling it. You know, you plumaz people, you be nice to people unconsciously and innocently. It's a childlike response. Not that there's a child inside you, but the childlike nervous system in you
Looks to project as well.
so what I will say to if someone, if they're in there, it's around checking the thoughts and checking the feelings, and then the behaviors. If we can change how we think and change how we feel, then we can start to change the behaviors. But what people try to do is just try to change the behaviors without changing the thinking and the feeling. So when I sit with people, I understand, and I'll sit with their experience. Tell us about your life, not to get into it with you. So I can get, okay, I can see how the programs have been set up in you, and where innocently and unconsciously, we're not going to blame your ma, your dad, your granny, your uncle, because blame gets more blame, and they did it. I'm going to say innocently, unconsciously. Right, I can see how that was set up. Right, let's see how we can change that. We get it, like this morning when I woke up, and the thinking and the feeling. I got to observe that from a helicopter view, and I watched and watched and watched it. And then we got to change it. And that's what I would help people to do, that you can change, that you can retrain that thinking and feeling and thinking. And then the behavior start to change. But what a lot of people do, they'll say, oh, I drink a lot, and they'll try to go after the drink, and I'll give up the drink, and I'll join AA, and I'll join NA, and I'll join Overeaters Anonymous, whatever. Come on over here, let's have a look at the thinking and the feeling. The emotion is the director of the film, and then the feeling and the thinking is the script. Let's change those. Let's change the director. Let's change the script. Because if you can change your thinking, you change your feeling, and vice versa. And you do this very, very slowly. You do it through observation and compassion. And then there's no need to be doing the behaviors, because if you don't feel that way and you don't think that way, you ain't gonna need Pornhub. People say to me, do you not drink? Do you not smoke? Do you not do porn or masturbation? And I say no, because I don't need it. I don't need to soothe something. I've become the master of how I think and how I feel most of the time. Where before it was just feral. I just done whatever I wanted, and I just, well, there's an urge, there's the feeling, there's the thing, jump on Pornhub, get on Tinder and text or whatever, and I had all sorts of stuff going on. But I didn't know that when these feelings come up or these thoughts start going up, I could do something about that. So back to what you're saying, love, if somebody is in that place and they're like a hamster on a wheel, I'm saying that it's a program, it's historical, it's
Not true.
not true, and it can be changed, and I can help you do that. I really can help you do that. One, I'll do it from a non-judgmental place. I'll do it from a compassionate place. I'll do it from an understanding. I'll listen. But I'm not, you tell me lots of stuff that goes on in your experience. You might believe it to be as believable as believable. I'm going to say it's not so believable. I'll help you do that. I remember sitting with a lady in a park that wanted me to do some work with her, and she said to me she had a drink problem. So she had a behaviour, and she was focusing all on the behaviour. And I'd love you to help me to do this. And then I said, yeah. I said, I can't wait till the day that we sit and you say to me, I never had a drink problem. I said, I can't wait till that day comes along that you say to me, I don't have a drink problem, because you don't. Because when we look at the feelings and the emotions and we look at the thinking, and we really
They're more addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the feelings and the thoughts, the addiction to lack and scarcity, the addiction to not feeling good enough, the addiction to feeling unworthy of good things coming your way.
Yeah.
These are the things that when they're looked at. And what's really powerful in what you're saying is, because beliefs, feelings, they're things, whether we're aware of it or not, like we unconsciously invest our energy in them, right? And what happens is when you stop investing in that thought and stop investing in that feeling, you then have energy to begin investing in the change that you want to be seeing coming through yourself. You then, like, it becomes a real powerful path and a powerful process. So, right, my next question, are you ready?
Go for it.
And you know what? The last thing I want to say on that, because just listening to you speak on this is just bringing people back to why I was like, it's so important to, you know, when you were saying like I wasn't being a good man, it's so important, regardless of sex or gender. It's so important to know that inherently, right now, in all of us, there's that light. There is that love. There is that pure goodness. It's always been there. It's just that things can cloud it over. The past experiences, the thoughts, the feelings. And so when you come from that place, knowing that underneath it all, like right now, like everything that you've been searching for externally, it's in you right now, and you start moving from that place, which is what I know you help people do.
Do you know what, actually, it was funny. I remember sitting with somebody years ago when I drank, and they say, he was a barman actually, and he says to me, I'm so surprised the amount of people that say good things about you. And I says, fuck off, Gary. I says, are you taking the piss? And he goes, no, people do. He goes, I know you do some stuff, and you know, he says, but people say nice things about you. And I was like, I couldn't let that in. I was like, no, because used to sit. I was only thinking about this yesterday, right? I was so obsessed about myself for years, and I don't mean from a point of, oh, I'm the best. I was so obsessed with my pain and my hurt and what people thought,
did this to me,
and what I did to other people, and I thought about it all day, every day. You know, I was ashamed, like, about my sexuality coming out, stuff that I did when I was younger. All of it, I used to, oh fuck, if anyone knew about me, all the robbing and the hoarding and the cheating and the stealing, and I thought about that constantly, right? And I was only thinking of this the other day when Beebe went, no, wait till I tell you, Brona, and you listen to me, right? So I was thinking about this today when Beebe texted the other day in the group about the 444s. I love angel numbers, right? And it lights me up when I see 444, 333. I'm like, oh yes, yup, the angels, right? I was thinking, why do I love it? I used to be driving around in my car constantly in my head thinking about what I did, who I'm arguing with, what's going on, the drama. Now when I'm driving anywhere, I'm seeing 444s, I'm
Two,
seeing
two, two.
purples, and I'm seeing, and I'm lit up inside, and I'm happy about that. And people are like, what's the meaning? And I'm like, what does that mean to you? It means that I'm having a fucking good time. That's what it means. And I'm not obsessed thinking about me pain and me hurt and me mad at this and me dad at this. And I have two of the one parent now. My dad has left us for a little bit. He stepped over into another room. I have great people around me. I have a great life. So what is that doing for me? It asks me to just look for love, look for
Look for
life,
the signs that
look,
are there.
yeah, like to enjoy myself, to get away from the fear and the anxiety and the selfishness of the lower energy centers in the body. Because I used to be obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I used to be so, oh, I've got anxiety and I've got worry and I've got fear. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You keep pouring petrol on the fire and you're complaining about it. Now I use 444. I use conversation with you and I or my kids to enjoy life.
To enjoy driving around
To enjoy
in your
now.
van.
And what it tells us, 444, 33, you will get what you look for. You will get what you find. And if you're looking for love, if you're looking for peace, if you want that to be in your
Everywhere.
it's everywhere. And how do I know? Because it was everywhere when all I ever looked for was pain. Because I cheated, I lied, I done all those things, and I got it in bucket loads.
Yeah. The clouds. The
Yeah, yeah.
clouds get in the way and they cover the view of what's there. It's like the sun and the clouds. I always love that analogy.
I do, yeah, yeah,
That the
yeah.
sun is always shining, even if you can't see it, it's always there. But when you are able to move the clouds out of the way, you see what was always there. Because I was like you, where I was so entrenched in pain, and I couldn't feel or see or think outside of that. And I took myself to be a certain way, whereas now it's completely different. And that's why, like, I love what you're saying, because things can happen, people. And often there'll be repercussions. Well, I feel this because this happened, and da 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 da. But there's also the identities. Well, I did this, so that means I'm not a good person, which means I need to hang my head in shame for the rest of my life, which is not true. And I actually had someone say that. I used to think that I needed to hang my head for the rest of my life. And it's like, no, because that was never who you were. That was just an expression of pain. And when you can come and see yourself through the eyes of love and compassion and forgiveness, which, there's different stages of forgiveness where you realize when you're at the top of the ladder of forgiveness, it was never required because you were always innocent. You were just in pain,
Yeah, and I was only talking to my pal Andy. I was out with Andy yesterday. Andy used to help me with the podcast, Liberties Photos. I love you, Andy. He's just an incredible being. He's a loving man. I was actually talking to him yesterday, and I was saying, Andy, you're untouched. Like we've talked about people in our group. He's just a kind, lovely person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he is. And I wasn't just saying that to blow smoke up his hole yesterday. He is. And that's why I love him. But we were talking yesterday about forgiveness and this work that we do. And when we were talking about forgiveness to this point, and for me, and I can only talk personally for me, is forgiveness for me was, I always used to look out and there's people in my life that I would have had grievances against, and I'd have had a turtle stuck in my neck that I just couldn't swallow, and I'd be like, oh, fire, but unconscious. And it was only when I really turned in and looked at the parts of me that the stuff that they did touched off, because he who's not sin cast the first stone. I have done some stuff, and I possibly never forgave myself for them. Like, I used to point the finger, he did that to me, and I went, did you ever hurt somebody in a way like that? And I'd go, yep. And I go, yeah, have you talked to yourself about that? And so I have gone back and I've done that dance where I have looked at the things I did, and just what you said a second ago, I did a lot of them unconsciously. And I'm not just saying, well, that's me off, I did it unconsciously, I'm going to have to pay, and I've paid karmic debt for that. And there'll be a reciprocity, and I'm cool with that. But I have forgiven myself for hurting those peoples and making those, because I'd done it unconsciously and without the tools, as Maya Angelou would say, you done the best with the tools that you had.
Yeah.
You know.
When you know better, you do better.
And I love that analogy with the sun. And me and Andy were also talking about this yesterday. I don't bang a drum saying, I am love, I am peace, and that's all I talk about. No, I use it as a reference point. Love and peace are here. Pain and hurt and trauma and all that shit is here. And I go, right, I want to be here and not here. And when stuff comes up in me that's trying to take me to here, it's a sign, it's a bell, it's a smoke alarm that goes off of me. Get back over here, because when me and you are in flow, we're not talking about peace and love, or we're just having a good time, having a crack and pinching your arse.
You're laughing at my jokes.
Oh yeah, hilarious.
Jimmy.
No, fuck that. But yeah, we had a great bit of crack. So it's not about saying, oh, I need to be in peace and love all the time and banging that drum. It's about actually living it.
You enjoy it, and you've hit the nail on the head, because you're not going around saying I am love. You're just going around enjoying the day. You're enjoying getting up in the morning, enjoying the work.
Like literally, we're nearly an hour probably into this, and I haven't noticed that time. That time has gone.
Yeah.
Like it was like gone, and we didn't aim to do that other than sit down and have a good time.
Yeah.
And then we sit back and go, how did you feel in the last hour? I'm like, I'm fucking lovely. Okay. Do more of that. Because if you're spending an hour thinking about your problems, talking about your problems and creating more problems, that's quite telling. And you go into your system and see how you feel. I never knew there was a choice. There's a gap between stimulus and response. And in there you have choice. Love or fear. Creation or destruction. Peace or chaos. Whatever way you want to describe it. And then you get to decide how you want your experience to be.
And it's a practice.
It's a practice. It's a mastery. I didn't get this morning. I didn't get to do that this morning quickly. It took me some time, and I need mentors and guides and people to help me do that. Yeah.
Tell me this, right? What message does Magic Minds now bring to the world? What's your message? What do you want people to know? Or what are you here to share?
That you can transform your life. So I help people transform their life with the power of breath and love. And we've spoke about that. I've given tangible examples of how I do it myself. You know, I've worked with people before, and I'm not shitting on people. I've worked with people before that have helped me. But when you look behind the curtains, they're not doing the work. They're not applying the stuff that they say to you. And they had proclivities, you know, whether it be drinking and smoking and doing stuff. And I'm going...
They're soothers.
Yeah.
Just to say, like, it's not that you have judgment towards drinking and smoking, but you know if someone is, you know, drinking, smoking, that it's a soother and that there's something underneath that they're not wanting to deal with, face or feel.
Yeah, so I help people do that, but I can sit with them with a level of integrity. For me, it means a lot to me that I'm integral. I don't jump on Pornhub. I don't masturbate. You know this. I haven't touched all that Jimmy Jazz for years now. Drink, drugs. No, not judging anyone drinking drugs. It doesn't do well for me. So when I sit with people, the level of peace that's within my system, the level of confidence within me when I share what I do, because I, like you help people across the four bodies. I work with the metaphysical, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. And that's the work I do for myself, because I know how to transform if you follow a certain way of living. This requires a wholesale change. You have to change your personality if you want to change your personal reality. If your reality is not an enjoyable experience for you right now, when you look out your window, you're looking in your life, or you're looking inside, you can change that.
Yeah.
You can change that. You can transform that. You can, as old Rob Tommy's quote here the other day, you can transmogrify that.
Oh, Jeannie.
How'd you like them apples?
Transmogrify.
You need to watch that podcast. It's an amazing podcast.
I'm an hour into it.
You wonder where love in this relationship is. An hour, it's out weeks. This is what you're up against. Right. Anyway, so you can transform.
You
Like
can change.
you can like. I
Nothing
used
is fixed.
no, and I used to sit with. I used to work in the national rehab, and I work with adults who acquire brain injury, and they come in and they be looking, for their rehabilitation, integration back into the community, or going back to work, and I'm looking, going, this piece, this part in your life can be the springboard to an amazing other new chapter in your life. You can use this as an opportunity to, depending on their challenges or
Circumstances.
difficulties had. But I just think you can do this, and the same way anybody, you can do it with the power of breath. As I say, breath is the gateway between the conscious and the unconscious.
Yeah.
And love is eternal. It's everywhere. It's everything. It's everyone. It's everywhere. Do you know?
Yeah. So it's like the breath work is a vehicle, but really what you're doing is you're helping people change and navigate from unconscious to conscious, from fear to love, so that they get to move and grow beyond their past. Because the breath work is a powerful thing, but you actually help them to integrate it. And so, because I remember years ago, especially when I was looking for solutions outside of myself, I used to think like, oh, if I do this thing or if I do this thing, and my thinking was like, oh, this will be the thing that will help me and this will be the thing. And obviously then as you go and you grow and you get into this, it's like, no, those things can help me, but they're helping me, that the solution and the source of everything is here.
Of course.
And it's the same with you. But I would love to know, because when you started Magic Minds, you weren't offering breath work, right? No. And now you're offering breath work. What brought you to the breath work?
Okay. So if you want to, transformation means that you want to change, transmogrify, you want to be like a metamorphosis, like a caterpillar going into a butterfly.
Metamorphosis, yeah.
You go from one state to another. If you want to get from DA, Dublin 8 to Liberties over the Finglas, there's many ways to do that. Yeah. You can get a taxi, you can get a bus, a bike, you can, there's many, a horse and cart. A van, yeah, get in the back of my van. So there's many modalities to get you there. Breath work, so I offer people breath work, so we can do breath work, whether it be the conscious connected breathing, it could be nasal breathing, it could be the pranayama, all of the different types of breathing, the coherent breathing can take you from one place to another, can transform you from one state to another. If you present yourself to me like I was years ago, an unconscious, heightened nervous system, that fight, flight, freeze thing, shaky, always looking for danger, and this could be from a historical point of view, if you went through some stuff, we can use different types of modalities to help you down regulate that, to soothe that, to feel peace. So it's telling me that you're in fear and dread and anxiety and panic and hurt. They're all presentations of a heightened fight, flight, freeze, asympathetic nervous system. So we want to get you into a more peaceful, restful, loving state. So there's many ways to do that. There's many buses and modalities, and I can use breath work. So you can use the coherent breathing to bring coherence into the mind and the heart and the body where they feel that. There's also then the conscious connected breathing. It helps you get from your conscious, which is 5%. Your unconscious is 95, where the old programs and the belief systems, and so I can use that. We can get beyond the
rational mind.
The rational mind into the unconscious, where the belief system, like what I said to you earlier, if someone was thinking and feeling in a certain way and feeling and thinking in a certain way, that would be coming from an unconscious place that's been programmed since they were 4 or 5. Little girls should only wear pink and they don't wear mini skirts. Little boys don't cry if you wear a low cut top. you're not a good quality human maybe, and if you're a boy that does certain things,
You have to play football.
and only boys play ball, girls don't play ball, which is horseshit. And they would be in the back of your mind, and they'd be stored in the unconscious. So breathwork can help with that. If that's what somebody was looking to do, and if we had a conversation, like a real honest conversation, I ask real honest questions from a place of compassion, but I'm very direct with people, and I want to know if you're doing that and saying that has an impact on you. Where does that come from? And I'll unpack that and explore that with people. Um, so they're the modalities, and there's ways of doing it, and there's many modalities out there, but they'll all hopefully bring you home.
Yes.
Get away from the idea that the solution is outside of you and the fix is outside of you.
It's in the breath work. The breath work will fix me.
No, I'm always ever gonna have the finger and it's gonna point back to you. I'm no Guruji. I'm not the guru. I don't have the answers. I'm only gonna ever ask you to come on inside of yourself, turn in and turn down, and be with the stimulation, not the stimulus. The stimulus didn't create the stimulation. The stimulation is within inside of you. If that person says something to you and you're lit up like a Christmas tree, but you think they did it, you're looking in the wrong place. They're like a signpost. Go, look inside, look inside.
Yeah, you've got the one finger pointing.
Yeah, and three back. So look inside, and that's what breath work does. That's what sitting having a conversation with people is. If you're willing to do this, I can do this with you. We can use breath work, we can use the art of real conversation. So your question was magic minds.
Well, it was what brought you to the breath work? Like, what brought you personally to think, do you know what, I want to do breath work? Why?
So I've done many different modalities. So done psychotherapy, done some psychology, done some psychoanalysis. As a client, I was, I worked in mental health, I worked in brain injury rehab, I've done psilocybin, I've done all sorts of different things. I've done some holotropic breath work, and and they were all very revealing. They all revealed something to me,
brought awareness to.
They brought awareness to the experience that I had as a child and an adolescent, and the impacts that they had on my behaviors, my thinking, my feeling, and
more understanding, more compassion.
Yeah. But what I was doing was just I was just wash, rinse, and repeat.
Yeah.
Nothing was changing per se.
You knew it was there. You had the awareness of the problem, but then you were like, right, well, how do we actually change this to be the solution?
Yeah. So then I done breath work. I started to train with Lily, and I done some training before. I done some the conscious connected breathing. I done the psychedelic breath work teacher training. We went to Berlin. And I've always been a lover of breath work. I've always been a lover of breath. I started reading the Oxygen Advantage by Patrick McKeown, and I read books by James Nestor and Scott Carney, and I just love them. It's so simple. Breath work is such a simple tool to use. But when we hear breath work, we think of holotropic and we think of conscious. Wim Hof, all of that things. But it's a modality, and it's simple one. You can do just your breath. So there's many different types of breathing. But what you're using it for is a tool to help you regulate your own nervous system. If you're feeling a heightened state of anxiety, worry, fear, or if you just want to bring more love and peace, or you want to get to sleep a little bit quicker, if you want to prepare for a meeting. It doesn't always have to be a trauma response. It doesn't always have to be I've got some wrong, I need to fix it.
It's for when you want to go from good to great as well.
Yeah,
and
great
I think
point.
That's where, like, say, we run Love, Breath and Miracles together. And from me, I had done breath work before, like, I'm not trained to do breath work. I was always a participant because I loved it. Like, it's really powerful. I've experienced downloads, intuition, guidance. I remember one time doing a breathwork session, and it was online, and I came downstairs, and my roommate at the time was like, "You look like you're actually after having the best sex of your life." I was lit up, right? And that's why when Matt decided that he was doing breath work, I was like, go for it. And we started doing Love, Breath and Miracles together. And this is where I've been a participant when you've been practicing, which has been amazing. And then at the same time, seeing the impact of people coming along to Love, Breath and Miracles and hearing firsthand their experiences where, like, my own experience, say with breath work, when I work across the 4 bodies, you've got the spiritual body, so spirit, and the actual root word of spirit is breath. And I used to always think like, wow, it's the spirit that breathes life into you. Like no breath, no life, like there's no spirit. So I always knew there was a connection between the two. But then hearing the impact of people coming along to Love, Breath and Miracles, and when you're consciously breathing like that, you're giving the mind something to do. So the mind would be the thing that can throw up the resistance, you see. So when you're giving the mind something to do, the next thing, the spirit, is just, that's the things that people have seen, the connection that they've had, where I know there was one lady who saw herself during the breath work as being like this powerful version of herself, and like it was powerful to see because she never saw herself like that. And like the truth is, that's what you are. Like when you know, everybody has got a spiritual body, whether you believe in it or not, you do.
I'm sure.
And that's the part of you that is like, I am already enough, I'm whole, I'm complete, I'm safe. And so that's what I've seen you help to bring to people and have that environment for people to sit into with Love, Breath and Miracles.
So it's very important to touch on this. Really important. So we can use many modalities to do certain things and get you to a certain place. I gave you the analogy of driving and bringing you to a destination. I have been in darker places. I have been in experiences that I don't like. And I've been in a place of love, which is love, peace. Breath work helps us expand our capacity to feel, experience feelings we may have not felt before, whether it be the fear, whether it be anxiety, whether it be the love, whether it be the bliss. It'll give you that opportunity to expand them. Okay. A lot of times when I used to do breath work years ago, it would have been a lot of prayer, get up the trauma, get up this, get up that, you know, move it, da 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 da. I don't find that beneficial for me anymore. So when I lead breath work, I'm leading it from a place of solution.
Love.
Solution for me is love and peace and joy. And this is not to spiritually bypass anything. Emotion is energy in motion. If people have gone through some experiences, it's gonna move. Stuff will move. The fear maybe come up, the anxiety, that thing that happened in the past. Da, da, da. Yeah, let it come up.
Yep.
Let it come up. Let it move up through the energy centers. Let it come out. Let the tears come up. But we're not gonna open it up and start getting in and doing an autopsy and looking at it. Da, 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 da. For me, that will re-traumatize people, will fire more that old story. But if tears want to come up, if bliss want to come up, if you haven't experienced that, breathwork will help you. The conscious connected breathing will expand your capacity to feel. But so will hum and be breath. So will if you in this higher state or a heightened state of anxiety, even slowing down and doing slow, calm breathwork can bring stuff up at people. It doesn't always have to be that conscious, connected, up-regulating
Go
breathwork.
hard, dig
Go
it
fast.
up, get it up, fix it.
Yeah, like even being gentle and kind and patient and loving people can bring stuff up for people, you know. So, and plus when I do the breath work, I lead it from that place. My energy is important. It's clean, it's clear, it's peaceful, it's loving. So when I run breath work, I'm very intentional with it. Whatever feelings, emotions want to come up, no judgment. Let them come up, let them come out. But we're not going to keep digging and looking for them. And this is a very important thing to say, right, with people, you know, going to counseling for me and digging also. we don't have to go that far for stuff to come up. You don't have to go up there. If you want to
Go to be happy, it'll come up.
yeah, go and try be happy. Go try do something you've never done before. I sat with a group of people not so long ago. We're doing a resilience workshop, and I was taking them through my resilience toolkits, and one of the key components of resilience is play, right? So play is a big one, and then got people to start playing games. And there was a few people in there from the medical community that done some certain degrees and have some training. But when I brought play into the room, when I asked them to talk about things they love about themselves, they nearly lost their shit. When I presented a microphone, people nearly lost their shit. We didn't have to go digging up 1976, 1977, that trauma and that forgiveness you must have for somebody. Let's have a look at this piece. What is inside of your system that won't allow themselves to play?
To enjoy.
To have fun.
Yeah.
Grab the mic, sing a song without any drink. Oh, what will people think of me? Oh, I look stupid. Da, da, da. Okay, let's look at that.
Yeah.
Let's look at your thinking and your feeling, your thinking, and then your behaviours. You're avoiding, you're fawning, you're right way. Breathwork can help us create freedom inside of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it's that lead weight, the fear and the anxiety that holds us. It's like holding the buoy, the buoy, as Tommy said before, holding the buoy down. But when we let that go, that belief system, that ideology, that habitual thinking, we're free. And breathwork can help us do that. Yeah. Conscious connected breathwork can help us do that. It can expand our capacity to feel. Yeah, feel the fear. Let it up, let it out. Feel the anxiety, let it up, let it go. It's not part of you. Yeah. And then the love, the bliss, the peace comes from that.
This is it. I was going to say something because, my own experience of what I've done for myself and the work that I'm doing is exactly this, where what you're actually helping people to do is, instead of the digging up of the fear, whatever is there, allowing it to come up naturally. But instead of moving it around in it shouldn't be here, I need to get rid of this, and there's the judgment, and then there can be, the I'm not fixed, or I can't get on with my life until I get rid of this. There's a need to be away from it. Instead, and I've seen this with your breath work, and I've seen you do this, you're simply training your body that it can come up, but you're not going to do the old thing or react in the old way that actually keeps it there and stuck and keeps you entangled up with it. Instead, you're training the body to allow it to move through you in a new way where you're not getting hijacked, and that's what happened this morning.
Right, I'm gonna sew a couple of stories together here, which is very important. So I explained to you about this morning, this stuff moved through me, and we spoke about it. There's no hunter's hangover, no shame, no regrets. It all passed over.
I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about the breath work, the expanding our capacity to feel, whether it's to feel more love, feel more stuff. When we do conscious connected breathing, it's an upregulating breath work. You'll feel the asympathetic because it's that mouth breathing will fire up. You'll feel it, your body will go like, oh, whoa, 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 and you get to calm that down. You tell it it's okay, it's good, it's all okay, you're safe, you're grand. You've mastered your nervous system. You've talked and walked yourself through, and you'll be guided through it. Then you'll move out into a blissful state. You're like, wow, that was cool, that was brilliant. You have a lovely time. Wow, I'm learning. I'm using breath work as a modality to learn and teach myself to be the parent that I wanted and be the lover that I wanted. Okay, I can do this on myself. Yeah. And then when you leave the breath work, you leave our space, you go and you do that into your life, into your family, into your relationship, because this is what this is about. It's about training you, training your nervous system, me helping you train your nervous system, that you can do it everywhere, and everything you do, you can be that. Because all it is when you face this perceived problem, you'll feel the smoke alarms go off in your nervous system, the physical, the mental, the emotional, all of that will happen in breath work, and that's what I want you to feel. So then when you get into an interaction with your lover or your boss or your ma or something, the smoke alarms will go off, and then you get to decide, do I sit and do I stay? So me and Brona decided that we live together, and I lived on my own for 25 years. I'm just cutting the corner of my eye. Brown's like, fix yourself. What the fuck is he gonna say? What's he gonna say? I feel it. I can read you like a book.
I'm supposed to be interviewing you. No, go on.
No, this is important. This is
Go on.
important, right? So we decided we live together, and I was like, when I move over here, I'm just gonna do my own washing. I'm gonna do my own washing. Yeah. I'm gonna do my own washing, cause in the back of my mind, I didn't want Brona to know anything or see anything about me, because I would have had these belief systems inside of myself that I'm not clean, I'm dirty, I'm smelly, I'm ugly. These things would have been said to me from days gone by, and I believed them, thinking, feeling, and I would have believed them to be the case. And I have gone to counselling, I've done holotropic, and I've done these modalities. They've always been there. They've always been there, you know? So, as I said, I'm doing the breath work, I'm practicing being with my nervous system when stuff comes up. And Brona says to me one day, do you want me to, I'm putting on a wash, do you want me to...
I'll go get your washing.
I'll put your washing on for you. And I went, no, you're grand, I'll do me own washing, I'll do me own wash. She's like, yeah, but why? And I'm like, you're grand, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Right?
So the response was like, okay. Yeah.
So I was like, no. And then obviously I would have got more stern about it. I would have been more direct. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. And then I went downstairs.
Yeah.
And I'm honest as fuck, and especially with myself. And I went and I said to myself in the kitchen, but why won't you let her do it? And then I was like, because what if she sees me jocks? What if she sees like there's skid marks in me jocks? Even me saying this, Brona, fucking shame is like trying to get in, and I'm like, shut up. I'm like, what if she sees them, and then she'll think I'm dirty, and then she won't want to be with me? I was like, right, the smoke alarm started to go off, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and I'm like, fuck this. This is like a breath work. I can either sit or stay, or I can run away. Run away is not let her do this, not let her wash me clothes. So
and even justified in your head, like, no, that's like, you know, I have a boundary there. You don't need to do me one. Like, you can go and justify it in your head.
I just like do my own thing and yeah. But really, when you do this work, and if you sit with me or I sit with the people that I sit with, that I work with, there's no getting away. You can't tell lies. So I don't lie to myself. So there was a fear there. There was a fear that she'd see jocks that would have skid marks, and because when I was a kid, if you had skid marks or if you do anything in your pants, you are dirty and smelly and ugly, and you were, I won't use some derogatory terms that we used as a kid. I couldn't unsee that in the kitchen. So I'm like, fuck this, ran back up the stairs. You were on the floor, I got down beside you.
I was on the floor, like, not traumatized or anything, I was just still doing the laundry.
Yeah, and I was like, look, the story I've been telling myself is, if you see my jocks and and then we can, but look, let's just do it.
You can do my washing.
Not do me washing, sound like a domestic queen. We'll just do the washing. And just like this morning, just like the breathworks that I've been through, once I let that come up,
the freedom,
the fucking freedom was beyond belief. Now I don't give a flying fuck about me jocks or what you might see. I want me
freedom to be yourself.
That was in my system since I was a child, and I've done the therapy and I've talked about these problems. But I used this opportunity between me and Brona to practice soothing my nervous system and telling it it's going to be safe. I fired up, but I got to say, no, you're grand. Like when I put my eye mask on and my earphones on and I'm doing the meditation, this comes up and tells me don't do it. I say, no, we're good.
Yeah.
When thinking and thinking, I get to check that. I've expanded my capacity to feel. I feel the anxiety, I feel it. I see the thoughts, I see it. And I don't believe it anymore. Yeah. Like I said, if you said, if this kid came along or this lad or woman came along, I was saying, I wouldn't be believing that right now.
Yeah.
You are not your thoughts and you are not your feelings. You are not that experience, and let me help you.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this. I'm not saying this is the way, but let's try this way.
Because it is your nervous system that can kick up like that, and what it actually is looking to do is keep you safe. It's looking to protect you. But when it's doing that, it's actually keeping you small and stagnant, and it's closing you off. You stay stuck in fear, and fear contracts you literally. So had you not have called that out, you would have walked out the door, and then there's something in between the very beautiful connection that we have.
Oh, 100%.
There's like a wall, you know,
invisible
an
wall.
invisible wall.
And this is the thing, like your nervous system repeat, wash, rinse, repeat over and over again. And the more times you get to expose yourself to getting beyond that, the amount of freedom that you're setting yourself up for is beyond belief.
Yeah.
Every time I sit down or lie down to do a breathwork myself, my anxiety will start to rise, right? So, okay, here we are, game on.
Yeah.
I don't run from that. I don't leave. I go, hey, look at this. I start breathing. It disappears. Okay, I didn't listen to my nervous system. The mind will start trying to jump in. Don't do this. Do it tomorrow. Like what says to me when I'm doing my meditations, I'll do it later. Don't do it now. I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. We're doing it.
That's the mind looking to protect you again.
So I had a client that said to me a couple of weeks ago, how do I, like, I want to get up on the dance floor. I don't drink and I want to, I want to get up. And he's like, I want to get up there and be judgment free and blah, blah, blah. And I have a good time. So he had all his focus on this. So I'm listening and thinking, okay. That's a big jump to go from that to this. That's, that might be a jump right now. So I'm interested in doing some client research. And I said, I'll ask my clients, what have you experienced since we worked together? Ask them a few questions. What were you like beforehand? How are you now? And I says, would that be okay for you to do? And I said it before the session. Purposely said it before the session. And he says, yeah. So then, as we went about, I says, how are you getting on? I'm looking at the way you're presenting there. What's going on for you? And he was like, oh, you asked me that question. I'm thinking, will this be a video? Will you want to put it somewhere? So what he's saying to me is his nervous system lit up by that. The smoke alarms went off, the physical, the emotion, the mental. And I'm like, cool, this is exactly what I was hoping to do. And I says, no, we won't be doing that. It'll be just a few questions I'm just going to ask them. And he's like, okay, cool. So I said, would it be okay if we can record it? And he says, yeah, no problem. I'll visual there, just audio. Ask them the questions, and that will be it. I'll keep it. Save me having to write it. And he was like, yeah, no problem. So then I recorded. I said, like, will I send it to you? And he was like, no, don't send me. I don't want to hear it. I was like, wow. He wants to get up on a dance floor, but doesn't want to
be freeing himself.
But doesn't want to hear his voice. It's right?
The same thing. Yeah.
It's this, and I'm like, this is incredible. So I left. I says, thanks very much. Blah blah blah. A couple of days later, I says, I want to send this to you. I want you to listen to it. I want you to listen to it the way you listen to your kids, the way you sit and the way you speak. And he talks about his kids with the greatest love. He talks about his kids with the greatest love, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this.
With the same love.
With the same love. Because I remember doing singing lessons one time, and the coach said to me, have a look at that. And I turned away. And what I recognised instantly was I just turned away from myself.
Yeah.
How am I going to get anyone to accept me if I don't even accept myself? I'm up doing singing lessons to practice, have a bit of fun, and I'm turning away on myself.
Yeah.
So I said to him, listen to that. Listen to that with compassion. Listen to it with love, no judgment. See how you get on. Yesterday, or the day before yesterday, Saturday, he sent me a voice note. He's never sent voice notes to people.
Okay.
He's sending voice notes to other people. I'd love you to do a minute video, talk about your job, give me a minute about your job, just randomly, anyway. So we're practicing being with that. Now, he's done lots of breath works with me, so we've been practicing this at a physiological, emotional, psychological, biochemical.
Being seen, being heard.
So now he says, give me a minute of your video, of your company. Tell me, because he's an amazing company, he's an amazing man. Give me a minute of that. So we went from the voice, planting the seed, to the voicemail, to now a video. And he's like, I'm looking forward to this video. So what does breathwork do? What does this work? Expand your capacity to feel. We shine a light on the unconscious. He didn't know there was an unconscious thing in him that he...
Hiding.
Yeah. And now, as Jeff said to me many years ago, there's many rooms in the castle of unconscious. We've opened the door that was unconscious, and in there we're putting some light, and he is free.
Yeah.
He feels free. And that's what breathwork, that's what this work can do for you. Because we're looking to create freedom, transparency, clarity. No, because that's what lies and fear and hurt does. It's dark and it's deceptive, you know. So,
Yeah.
so wow,
So
that was a
your
waffle.
clients walk away feeling lighter, freer.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said to another client, this is a brilliant one. I said to another client, we'll call her Jane, and she said it's okay to share this. I said, Jane, some client research, I'm looking at tell me, what has it been like? How would you explain what we do together? What has it been like for you? What's been the benefits of it? She goes, well, Ma, and she's only a small lady. She's fucking magnificent, right? She's an amazing woman. I love her. And she's, when we started working together, Ma, she says, most of the time when I left here, she says, I just wanted to fucking loaf you. What she means, like, give me a headbutt. Because some of the things I'd say, they didn't land, and they didn't land for, she said, but a day or 2 days later, it'd pop for me, and I'd get it, and I'd be like, ah. She says, I went from wanting to loaf you to wanting to hug you. She says, now I just want to hug you. I get it. And I used to be able to see her sitting in the chair, and I'm like, she's not liking this. I'm gonna get a loaf in her head here, whatever. But she didn't stop turning up for herself. I would just say what I hear and say what I see. Not saying I'm
mirror it back.
I'm just saying what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, you know. And this lady she two family members passed over for her in the time that we've been working in the last couple of years, and she never stopped turning up for herself, doing the work, doing the chats that we have, doing our meditation, the stuff that we talk about in the session, our breath, our practice. She didn't stop. And this was the very same lady that said to me that she had a drink problem. And she came in one day and she says, you remember what I said? I don't have a drink problem. She says, I don't need to drink. She says, I'm happy. I'm in love with life. She says, I cry loads. This woman used to find crying really hard. She says, I'm crying loads. And when I think of this person, that person, I just cry. It's beautiful. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, sometimes when we see her, it might be challenging for her system, not her system or his system.
The truth can be uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, just like love. Love can be difficult. Light
can be really
difficult.
uncomfortable.
Truth and light is love.
Yeah.
I say everything with love and kindness, compassion. I'm not trying to hurt anyone, make anyone discomfort. I'm not trying to make anyone uncomfortable, but I'm okay because I love my clients that much that I'll say the uncomfortable thing, but I don't mean to hurt anyone. And it doesn't come from a place of, I'm not trying to hurt, I'm not trying to cause harm.
Unconsciousness sometimes doesn't like being called out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like me and you sat last week and I went to you, I'm finding this piece challenging in my system, but you are asking me direct questions. You are shining light into an unconscious place.
Yeah.
But I called it out and said, this is challenging. And I said, let's stay here. Stay, we'll sit and stay. What we say in the breath work, what we say in the work. Don't leave the spot.
Yeah.
Don't let your nervous system hijack you and take you on a ride.
Well, take you and keep you stuck.
Yeah. I'm interested in freedom for me, for my clients, for you, in our relationship, in my kids, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so for me personally, in our relationship, I was very intentional that I was looking for a partner that I could come to if I needed support, because I've amazing people in my life, but you know when you're working and you're helping people. For me in the past, I suppose some of the romantic relationships I had, it was more I was Not all of them, by the way, but yeah, that there was unconsciousness in them as it was in me because we resonated. But I was like, oh well, I was helping them. I wasn't able to receive as much as I was giving out. I was giving and giving and giving. So it was very conscious for me to bring in a partner that I wrote it out. I was like, yeah, I love chatting with this man. Like I love hearing his wisdom, and I love the advice he gives, because I'm like, I give good advice, but I want that when I hit my blind spots. And that's what I get from you. Like you are intuitive, you are perceptive, like you're sharp when it comes to the truth, you're honest, you prioritize love, and you have an ability and a capacity for love and to be able to light up a situation. And I know for a fact you do bring this to your work as well, right? So talk to me about the different ways if someone is looking to receive support from you, what are their next steps?
Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
So do they contact
oh
you?
yeah,
Do they
yeah.
mess you?
Oh,
Like
like,
what?
look, you'll find me. Like, I have my
And what are
website.
the different ways you work with people?
So we have, like, I have my website, www.magicminds.ie. I have the services that I offer to people. I do the one-to-ones. People can do a once-off session with me. They can do a block book, or they can do. There's three options. There's an hour. That's just a chat, an exploration, getting into to this work and getting a taste that people just want to drop in and do to
Get a
chat,
feel for
get
you.
a feel for where they're at, and how we could navigate through some stuff together. What we could talk about making a plan and on getting a feel this of us together. Then there's the Let's Breathe option. That is it's a 2 hour block where if somebody has some stuff that they want to explore, they want to talk about it, we can have a chat, a real conversation. We can look at it, and then we can use the modality of breath work as well. So the conversation, it's not just the breath work, it's the whole actually committing to doing it. Okay, I'll come and I'll have a chat with Matt. We'll open it up to the point of what are we looking to move, what is lying at the unconscious that you may not be seeing.
You're not
Because I will very quickly understand where you're at in yourself with the words that you use. When you string a sentence together, I will be listening diligently for the words that you say.
And the energy.
The energy that's within that, the way you say it, the cadence. Communication is 87% non-verbal. So when I sit, like, I don't want to keep going back to me and you, but when we meet each other, whether I see it, and it will only be milliseconds, and I will know that there's something moving through you.
Yeah.
Shauna was 200 yards up the road one day, and I was watching her walking down the road, and she came to me, and I went, what's going on for you? What's moving through you today? And she burst into tears, and I have her permission to say this, by the way. She went, oh, and I, okay, give us a hug, come here, I love you, stay with me for a minute, stay. Do you want to open this? Do you want to open this right now? Do you want to have a look at this? And she went, yeah, I do. I said, okay. And she went, yeah, okay. So we unpackage it really quick. But what I'm saying is that I can pick up on things with people, whether it's how they look and how they speak and the words that they use. And so it won't be just the breath work, it will be that chat, where you're at. And then we will, because some people might find the talking of it difficult. So we'll get into the breath work, we'll use some grounding practice to help them feel safe in their nervous system. I done an interview here the other day. A girl that was studying to do psychotherapy. She wanted to interview me for her thesis. She was interviewing therapists, and she asked me the question about people coming to work with me. About safety. It's so important for me when I'm with people that they feel safe. How I speak, the words I use, the cadence, my voice, the atmosphere in here. So when I do the breath work, that's really important because I ain't doing the work. They are doing the work. So in order for them to really look at to move that energy, they have to feel safe to do it because they're doing it. I don't do it. I'm just creating this environment for them to do it. They do the work. I empower them to do it. So then we move in and we'll do some conscious connected breathing and stuff that they didn't want to talk about. You know, they'll move from that rational thinking mind.
Protect the mind that's looking to protect you.
Yeah. And then we use the conscious connected, that up-regulating breath work, that modality for flipping the default mode, that old way of thinking and feeling. They get beyond that and stuff that wants to move, that thought pattern, that way of being, that story, that old historical event. It'll come up. Tears may come, laughter may come, bliss will come, energy, nothing may happen, whatever. They may just feel peaceful. And then we'll come out of that and we'll do some reflective stuff, a journey, meditate, and then we'll have a chat afterwards to integrate it. Integration is the most important part of this work. You know, this is beautiful. We'll open up some stuff. You may be here for 2 hours, but you have another 22 hours of the day to account for. So you may move some stuff. You may get some ahas, some pictures and visuals. You got to live your life, and if it's peace and love that you want in your system, when you go to Tesco, when you go meet your ma, when you go meet your uncle, when you have that chat with your boss, that's a brilliant place to practice and integrate your work. Because if you felt peace and love in here, go be that love and peace in your relationship and in your job.
That's how you change.
That's how you change. It's not with a fucking Guruji here with a beard and a bald head. I will help you. I will help you to establish peace and love in your system, and I'll share my experience with you with the modalities that I use. But then I'll be encouraging, empowering you, and supporting you, that you'll bring it with you everywhere. Let it be your siren song as you walk through the world. That love and peace, love and peace, love and peace for yourself. When you have peace, and I was talking to Andy about this yesterday, when you notice any of these smoke alarms going off and you put them out and you tell them it's okay, stop thinking, stop feeling, we're good. You don't have to talk about peace and love. You just walk into a room and that's what you are. And one of the clients that I work with here, I says to him, why have we worked together? Why did you choose to do this? And he says, because when you come into this room and you've done this work with us, I looked at him and he looks like he's peaceful. He looks like a place that I want to be. And when things were said to me in the audience, I didn't get rattled. I didn't get spooked by it. I understood where they were coming from. I'm cool with my nervous system. I have no problems. And I was able to be that because I've done it in breath work. I do it in a relationship. I do it everywhere I go. I integrate it everywhere I go. And that's the beauty of this work that I help you with. That whatever you feel here and wherever we move and you feel peace and love, whenever you feel that, you can get to be with your kids with that. If you're anxious and impatient with your kids, let's look at that. Let's be with yourself with peace and love and joy. And then when you see little Craig or Carly or Toy or kids, you're like, wow, I am so peaceful now with my kids. I'm a different parent than what I was years ago. Shauna will tell you I was always cool, but she didn't know what was going on the inside. And with me, now I'm pretty chilled with them, and that's because I've learned to train my nervous system. How did I do that? Through how I think and how I feel and how I think and how I behave. I've mastered that 90% of the time. Yeah. How do you like them apples?
Sure love the apples. I'm with them.
I was gonna say something.
So
I can be in my relationship. I can say things a little bit inappropriate.
It's okay. So you work with people one-to-one?
Yeah, so I work one-to-one session. I do the 2 hour block, and then I also do, if somebody wants to do a deep dive and want to really commit to it, I do a 6 hour block. Yeah. So I've got the hour, the 2 hours, the 6 hours. And what I've learned about this, Brona, over the years and the deep dive and committing to the 6 hours, like a kid said to me the other day, I'd like to work with you, I'd like to buy your time and did it. It's not, you're not buying time from me, son. You're not, it's for yourself. And I used to want to work with people before. I'm like, I'm not giving them my money and I have to pay them. I had an arse about face. You are investing in yourself. If you are being scarce about giving that over to them, it means you're being scarce about giving it to yourself. Now, I'm not saying if you're stuck for money or you're being mean or not like that, but if the resistance is you don't want to give it to them, you don't want to pay them, what you're saying is I don't want to do it for myself. And I have, what I've learned over the years is to really double down on investing in myself.
You
That,
make so
go on. That invisible hand on me that says, oh, don't give it to them, don't do that. That is not my voice. That's a voice of the scarcity that I used to surround myself with years ago. Don't buy yourself that. Don't self-indulge. Don't be doing nice things to yourself. The return on investment that I have got from doing this work myself, you know the level of investment I have made in myself, the things that I buy, the things that I do in order for me to uh, do good things for me that aids my family, my community.
And you're investing in love and peace.
And what I learned for when I'm okay with giving out and doing work with people is I become freer, I've become more generous, I've become more kinder, I've become more easy in my system. The more ease in my system, I give it out now. I'm okay with it. I used to be very covetous and mean. You know, people wouldn't have known about it. So I don't want to keep everything. I got a claim years ago that I didn't tell my friends about because I just wanted to keep it all myself and all. Because I was told not to tell anyone about it and keep it like a fucking squirrel with 1,000 nuts. Don't need all them. Now, like, you know that I'm kind in our relationship. I'm kind with my kids. You know, and it just comes back.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean in monetary. It doesn't come back in money. It comes back in the amount of love that I receive, the help that this podcast, 90 Meat Street, Austin and crew, help me out with this, Liz. Like,
Can I just say something on that? Because, like, it's so true what you're saying in terms of when someone is spending, they're investing in themselves. And the way I used to see it is you could go out on a night out and you'd spend probably the exact amount, or you could go and spend it on like a new coat or like whatever it is you spend on. And it's looking at, what am I investing in? Am I investing in, and there's no judgment, like, but am I investing in, you know, the soothers? Am I investing in the external, in my appearance, in the car, in the house, in the things that make me look good? Or am I investing in the things that help me feel good, you know? And
that's a great show.
Yeah, so just when you were talking about, oh, you know, how it can be like lack and scarcity, I don't want to be giving that money to him. It is about investing in yourself. And yeah, like you're worthy and deserving of feeling good, you know? And yeah.
Great observation. And meditation, and doing this work, practice and becoming the witness, the watcher, the observer of your experiences. That's what meditation, you put on an eye mask, you close your eyes and you get into it. You then become the awareness, and you get to watch, observe, become familiar with, notice thyself, you know, know thyself meditation. So when you practice this, you become very aware of your behaviors, and it can be a double-edged sword. But you can get to watch, how are you when you're heading into Boots and you want to buy yourself some new, I don't know, sanctuary stuff for your bath, or get yourself a new pair of Gucci runners or something like that. How do you feel? Oh, that's lovely. But when I say to you, you know, you gotta maybe invest in this to improve your stuff, what is the level of resistance in you for these things? And then you get to become aware. Are you spending it on you know, short, you know, bursts of dopamine, like I'll buy this and I'll feel good for a minute, I'll buy that for a minute, and you know, because that all works for a little while, but it doesn't work long term. You'll eventually, like when I sit with people and they're going through some stuff, and I say, we can look at it now, or we can look at it when you're ready, whenever. You'll eventually look, if it's not with me, it will be with somebody. I'll get texts from people, they want to work together, and then they'll come back then in time. And the same, that was the same with myself. I use all the behaviours, the drinking, the buying this and buying that, and and eventually I had to come back and turn in and turn down, because all of that external stuff that we go for, that's the illusion that the solution is outside of ourselves, when it's not. It's inside of ourselves, and it's only the shields, the layers, the armor we've been putting over and wearing as protection mechanisms that we're looking to remove. Yeah.
So, Boo.
Yes.
We are coming to the end of our
delightful
conversation.
Shit, man, that's a long conversation. That's incredible.
So I'm just gonna ask you one last thing, and we will close it up.
Yes. Oh, that was the big question. I was thinking, why is she not down on her knees here for this?
You big joker. What are you taking away from this conversation?
What am I taking away from this conversation? What am I taking away from this? I love this. I was about to say work. It's not work. I use the word work because it's a concession to language. It's a play on words. I just love this. I love this. I just love it. I love doing this. I love sitting here having the chats. You're asking me questions. I'm talking. I love talking. I love listening. I love our relationship, because our relationship is this. If people want to talk about like non-duality, it's not two, it's one. I don't do magic minds. I am magic minds. I am love. You are love. We are love. This is all one. This is the oneness. When people talk about non-duality, this is it. I love this. I love this experience. I didn't always experience that. I would have been very much into the duality of life, good, bad, that they're lost in that. Right, wrong. And now I'm like, fuck, this is just the best. So I spoke with Andy about this yesterday. We were speaking. Andy was part of a documentary, and I said to Andy, how did you feel in that, Andy? And he was like, I loved it. And I was like, see, that's it, Andy. That is it for me too. We don't have to talk love and banging the drum of peace. When you're in it, it's just beautiful. Like, we have been here for nearly 2 hours, love, and it's been magnificent. I didn't once feel discomfort. It was just lovely. So what am I taking away? That do things that you love to do. Like, do the things that you love to do without that pressure on the back, that unconscious, that unnoticeable pressure. You must do this and you must do that. You need more job, you need more education, you need to be in a relationship, you have to get yourself more runners. If that is your siren song, if that is blaring in the back like one of those dictator kind of microphones, ding, 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 trying to brainwash that there, don't follow that.
Yeah.
Find something that you do that may look like this. I don't know. It may be knitting, it may be flower arranging, it may be drama, it may be documentary making like Andy, it may be your karate or like your art, your drama. Find something that you can get lost in the flow, and when you're out of it, you go, holy shit, I love that. That was beautiful. You didn't have to once think about survival. You didn't have to once self-doubt. I never once in that near 2 hour conversation contemplated anything fearful, anything worryful. I was lost in time. It was timeless.
Yeah.
And that's what love, that's what flow, that's what peace.
And that's it, because you're saying, find something you love to do. The reason why you've been able to find something you love to do is because you're in your heart. And when you're in your heart and you're broadcasting love and you're in the frequency of love, you bring that love to everything that you do. We could have been driving, we could have been having breakfast, and you'd be like, I love this.
That is a great point. And I was talking to someone yesterday about this as well. Love doesn't turn up. Peace doesn't turn up. That opportunity for your job doesn't turn up. That girlfriend, that boyfriend, that relationship, that thing, it doesn't turn up till you start to turn in and change, as you say, Brownie, your frequency, the energy within inside of yourself. What does that look like? Thoughts are electric, heart is magnetic. So you put out into the world what you want. And if it's fear and scarcity and lack, you will get that back. So I got exactly what I wanted. Go back and from where we started. You asked me where did I come from. So I used to think these thoughts, I used to feel these feelings, and out they went, and all it came back like an echo chamber, resonance, right? So obviously over the years I've started to change that. I don't want this, the fear, the pain, the hurt. I want this, the peace, the love, and every day I made a conscious decision to sail in that direction. Okay. And then obviously here I am today. I'm sitting in this position. You wouldn't have turned up if I didn't feel this way. If I wasn't honest, integral, kind, loving. If I didn't practice those things, the Bronas don't turn up because you are kind, honest, loving, clear, crystal clear and beautiful and a wonderful being. This doesn't turn up for you if you're doing those things. And if you think that's going to just magically happen, it doesn't work like that. It's an echo chamber, it's a frequency, it matches. And you're like, how do we do that? Okay, we change how we think and we change how we feel. And then all of a sudden, because like this morning, if I'd done what I was going to do this morning, went about my day with those fearful, scarce, problematic way of seeing the world, I'd have got them in spades. We didn't follow that train. You helped me with your kindness, your love, you didn't take it personal, any of that kind of stuff. You sat and you didn't leave the spot. I didn't leave the spot, and here we are. And that's what I would say to people, is that that's how you do it. Change how you think, change how you feel, and the Wi-Fi signal or the frequency you're putting out, see what comes back. And this gives you great power to change your personality. You change your personality and your personal reality changes.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that help?
So thank you everybody for listening to this conversation today. And if you want to get in contact with Matt, you can.
You get me on the website, www.magicminds.ie. You'll find me on social media, Matt Bork 1976. You'll get Magic Minds podcast. You'll find us here.
Yeah, plus if you do ever have any questions that you would like covered on the podcast, any challenges or situations that you find yourself in, like, write them in.
Yeah, and also Brona is in the process of creating our own podcast. I can't tell you what the name of it is, but she's working on something brilliant and amazing at the moment. So that's coming soon. Also, if you want to do any work, I want to know more about Brona Malone, you'll find her at
BronaMalone.com.
Power and You Coaching.
Yeah, Power and You Coaching is the name of the coaching. But my website is BronaMalone.com.
Oh, sorry about
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So we've also Love, Breath and Miracles. We'll have one coming in June. We're just working on the date.
Yeah, we have to lock in those dates now.
Yeah, I also have a Breath and Brotherhood men's circle that is on the 14th of May in the Digital Hub. Thanks to the Digital Hub, they've been so kind to me, just like the crew here at the Liberties Community Project. This is what happens when you're conscious and mindful of changing your frequency where you want to help. People will help you.
Yeah, life is always looking to help. So
you're a wise being. Right, so that's a wrap. As always, to my pal Niall Reilly from Rooney Media Graphics. If you need any graphic design done, they're your man. Do amazing work. He's helped me transform the podcast and helped me stay on track. He's absolutely deadly. And thanks to the girls at Shannon's Hope Line, Lisa and Sandra Callagher, doing amazing work here in the Liberties and around Dublin. helping kids and families with mental health and suicide prevention. Amazing organisation. So if you have any spare cash, send it over to them. Anything else that I need to remember? No, just share this with family and friends. Thanks so much for your feedback. If you have any recommendation for guests that you'd like me to interview, let me know. I'm absolutely loving the podcast at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. The little break that I had and now coming back into it, it's exciting. I've got some brilliant interviews coming up. I'm really looking for Jeff. I can't think of his second name. Do you know Jeff? Second name? He's sacred geometry. So he's going to come on and talk about sacred geometry. I have another lady called Jan Keaton. She's a herbalist. She's got some amazing products. She's going to come on. Who else?
There's just loads.
There's just loads.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Keep putting love, kindness and peace out in the world and see what comes back to. Take care.
I will run, I will climb, I will soar. I'm undefeated. Oh, jumping out of my skin, pull the cord. Yeah, I believe it. Oh, the past is everything we were. Don't make us who we are. So I'll dream until I make it real, and all I see is stars. It's not until you fall that you fly. When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable. Take a shot, chase the sun, find the beautiful. We will glow in the dark, turning dust to gold.